It was raining a little bit earlier.
That's okay. We'll play in the rain this year.
Probably
Somewhere.
A couple times.
Ready to run over a summer vacation?
You know, we stayed here and just enjoyed Jacksonville. Go to the beach, just kind of hang out. Went to a couple good restaurants, and it was awesome. It was,
Get the house situated, that's a
Well, yeah.
task to itself.
and everywhere else we've been, we normally go to like beach somewhere. We're like, hey, we're already at the beach, so we don't need to leave. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I think 3 days in a row we did it, and the kids are like, awesome. Like, hey, let's go to the beach again. I'm like, yeah. We'll kind of hang out, and but this is a great place. A couple parks around. It's awesome. There's a park in Jacksonville Beach area that I forgot the
Well,
name.
like pickleballs?
Yes, and I forgot the name of that park, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Coach,
yes.
Josh Allen is Heinz Allen.
All right, we'll get started. Here we go.
Yeah, why not? He's 35th on the NFL's top 100. I imagine being one of your guys, you might think it's a little bit too low, but so far, what's it been like to work with Josh on the field and the classroom?
Yeah, it's been really good. Totally locked in. Everything that we're doing, bought into, our style of play, our defense, what we're going to be about, and so he's going out and he's showing it on the field.
Coach, it seems like the secondary has had a pretty good, first 5 days. What do you make of that, and sort of where do you see the progress in that unit?
Yeah, one of our things, really at all position groups with secondary, is talk to our guys about winning every rep. That's really important. Winning every rep. What does that mean? Is you don't have to make every play, but proper stance, proper eyes, fundamentals, technique, scheme. Just win every rep. And I think you're seeing a group of guys that have really taken to that. The coaching, Chris, Richard, Corey Robinson, and Mike Gray have done a phenomenal job with that group, and just teaching them the fundamentals and technique in order to have success. And so that's another part of it. The guys are really bought in on the success, the fundamentals and technique that those guys are teaching them. And then they've really, the scheme that we're doing, there's some checks and things like that, and those guys they're smart players back there. And so the combination, but we're a one day at a time group, and today's another day, so it'll be another good challenge for that group. But they've done a good job so far.
Is there a real benefit to having somebody like Darby on the roster who's played on more quality defenses than anybody else on the roster? Just having somebody like that who knows and has played on defenses that are really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's been a huge help to the younger players. He's been a great mentor to Trey and Jarian. He's been fun. You see him talking to him on the side, and those guys are just soaking up all that knowledge. But he's a savvy vet. He's made a lot of plays, he's been in a lot of good defense, and so he understands what's that about. And a lot of that is practice. He's a really good practice player, and that's something that you don't know when you're doing the free agent about how good is he on the practice field. And he's phenomenal on the practice field, and so those guys are seeing his work ethic and how he does drills and his mindset and everything. And so, yeah, it's absolutely a huge help.
Is there something in your experience with veteran guys that have been through and played on championship teams or teams that make deep runs in the playoffs that they're able to, kind of grab somebody and shake them out of a malaise or whatever when things aren't going right? Is that something that you've experienced a lot with some veteran guys, and how valuable is that for a team?
Winners, right? I mean, that's what you're describing as winners. And so you want to get a collection of winners on the same team, and bring along some of the guys that maybe haven't been there before. And so you can learn a lot from, how to win in this league. A lot of that is those guys know execution. Don't beat yourself. Like that's, when you're talking to them, just don't beat yourself. Just be in the right spot, align and adjust, fundamentals and technique, and then finishing a game. That's where a lot of those, what you're talking about, those guys bring that, finish the game. Don't just, hey, if you're up 7 points with 5 minutes, the game's not over. Like, play all the way through the game and how to do that. So, yeah, it's a huge thing. It's something that you look for in scouting and, player acquisition. And we've got some guys that have been there and done that before, and so they're really helping, with what the culture that we're building.
You've got a bunch of young guys. There's so much stuff is getting thrown at them, and they're trying to adjust to playing in the league. They can't know all that stuff until they go through it, right?
That's right.
Multiple times.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you have to go through it, but then there's other guys that are going to help lead them. And hey, just follow these guys, and they know how to do it until you learn it on your own. And so, but a lot of that is, coming together as a collective group, a defensive team. And that's a whole organizational thing that we're talking about, right? How to win. How to be a winner. Win forever. And do it better than it's ever done before. I mean, that's kind of a goal that you have is, be a championship team and be the best team that ever was. And if you strive for that, and it's always consistently pushing a daily, push for excellence, you establish some of that mindset and culture that you want, and that's what we're doing this year.
Hey Ryan, Devin Lloyd came into the game a couple years ago as a complete linebacker, right? Sacks, interceptions, forced fumbles recovered. What do you see from him? What's his role in your defense? How do you get the most out of a young guy that seems like there's a lot of potential there?
Yeah, and he had a lot of plays last year. So there's a lot on tape. So we've done a good job evaluating kind of what he did last year and his strengths. And then through OTAs and what he's doing right now, and putting him in a couple of different positions to see really where he's best in what we're doing here. Smart player, works extremely hard at the game. You love his size, speed. He's a football player. He's a football guy, football junkie. So that combination has helped him. And he can do, like what you said, a lot of different things. Rush the passer. He's a good coverage player, man-to-man on backs. He's a downhill football player in the box. So a lot of those things, and so we're continuing to move him around a little bit, but he's finding a home, and he's having a pretty good camp so far.
What next step would you like to see from Trayvon? What do you expect or want to see from him this season?
Well, he had a pretty good year last year, and just to raise his game just that much more, complete player. What's a complete player? Defensive line, right? So ability to stop the run, not be single blocked. One of the base rules of our defense is we never trade one for one. So consistently get off the block, play a gap and a half, those type of things, which he is more than capable. And then continue to develop as a pass rusher. A little bit more power, a little bit more of a plan, getting off the counter type, get to level, counter back, don't just continue to run around. And then for him, just the next step mentally kind of, become a little bit more of a leader, really good football player, fantastic person. But he can be more in that leadership role of, leadership is action, not positioning. So continuing to do it, and the guys will see, hey, great practice player, he shows up every day, same type of guy. Continue to do those things, just raise your game just a little bit more.
Ron, you and a majority of your defensive staff have been here basically 6 months, yet you talk to the defensive guys that were here last year that are still here. There's a drastically different vibe, a much more positive vibe. Are you surprised that it's meshed this quickly, the new coaches and the players?
It's a testament to the staff. Really, the guys, the position coaches, they've done a great job. We spent a lot of time together. Off-season was fantastic, and just how the defense was put together. Again, it's not we got in there and everybody had their own ideas, and we kind of built this thing where everybody had input. Everybody had buy-in, and everybody does a really good job of coaching their position fundamentals and technique, and that's how the scheme really works, is each individual player, each individual coach doing his job. Those guys have been fantastic, and then the players have been really receptive, new fundamentals, techniques, scheme type things, and when they're bought in and they really like what you're doing and teaching them things like that, then what you're seeing on the field is every day is, okay, what's next? What else can I learn? Things like that, and so they're really energetic, but it's a daily thing. We got to continue to grow. And it's just about today. So we're going to continue to push those things today. The effort and the energy and the positivity is that's just who we are. That's who we're going to be. Coach Peterson talks about being positive. And that's a lot from him as well. So It's just been a good combination. We just got to continue to do it.
I think from the outside, there's the mantra of defense is often ahead of offense during this portion of the training camp period. And I think we talk about that in the context of the offense, right? And now, well, that's the excuse. From the defensive perspective, what do you make of that statement?
Really, to be honest with you, is we're just concerned about us, our defense. We've got good offensive coaches. Press does a great job. Coach Pearson, he's involved on both sides. Our offensive staff, they're all over. I mean, those guys are in there, and we have full confidence that because we see them, they're coaching there, and so we can focus on just us. And so that offense defense thing, that's. Our job is defense, and that's where we're focused and helping our football team the best we can.
We've got time for 2 more. Let's do Ashley and then Zach.
Coach, yesterday Foye was described as one of the scary guys on defense. What 3 words best describe Foye from your perspective?
Smart, tough, aggressive. You see a guy who, add one more if I could, phenomenal effort player. He's flying around as good as any player we have on our defense right now. You see him, if you just watch his body work and you just watch him at practice today, the way he finishes plays, he's aggressively going to get the ball, punch outs. And he's had a really good career so far. And so you're seeing that. It's really cool to watch him because he's taken his role and kind of made it his. And that's what we try to do for all the players is, hey, here's fundamentals technique and, make it yours, and that's what he's doing. It's really cool when he's the ball goes to the other side and he's running 30 yards down the field to go finish on the play. That guy loves football. He's given everything he got for this football team.
Ryan, how beneficial has the increased opportunity been for Mason with Eric and Roy's current status, and also how beneficial is it the coaching been for them, the extra, mentorship that they're able to provide to him?
Sure. Part of being a rookie is you have a little bit more time requirements in terms of meetings and fundamentals, and so that's helped him. The guys on the staff have done a really good job. But one of our things is, equal reps for everybody. And so what do you do with your reps? Doesn't matter who it's against. And then those other guys that you mentioned, they're good football players, and they're mentoring him and how to do it, how to be a practice player, take care of your body and things like that. And so the combination it's been really good for him. Today's the first day of pads, so rookie's first day of pads it's going to be really interesting to see all these guys. It's a cool day, but just expect nothing but him going out there and doing the best he can. So thank you guys, appreciate it. Have a great day.